Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Rita's Book Club. This week I'm reviewing The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I believe I found this one once again around Instagram and I was so interested in the whole concept of it all. A ghostwriter that writes romances she starts not to believe in and sees ghosts, falling in love with one. So I was instantly curious to say the least. I was just trying to gain some courage to actually read it due to the heavy subject about death. Florence Day is a ghostwriter for one of the most prolific romance authors in the industry, and she has a problem. After a terrible breakup, she no longer believes in love. It's as good as dead. When her new editor, Benji, a too handsome mountain of a man, won't give her an extension on her book deadline, Florence prepares to kiss her career goodbye. But then she gets a phone call she never wanted to receive, and she must return home for the first time in a decade to help her family bury her beloved father. For 10 years, she's run from the town that never understood her, and even though she misses the sound of a warm southern night and her eccentric, loving family and their funeral parlor, she can't bring herself to stay. Even with her father gone, it feels like nothing in this town has changed and she hates it. Until she finds a ghost standing at the funeral parlor's front door, just as broad and infuriatingly handsome as ever, and he's just as confused why he's there as she is. Romance is most certainly dead, but so is her new editor, and this unfinished business will have her second-guessing everything she's ever known about love stories. If you read this, I advise you not to read it in public and to get a lot of tissues because you are going to need it. I'm sure I scared a few passengers on the bus last week with my silent crying, but this book is just a punch in the gut in a lot of expected and unexpected moments. I was expecting to get emotional since it was so focused on death and family, but I wasn't expecting to also laugh so hard in a lot of scenes. It was the perfect balance for Florence's story that really made it super easy to relate with her and her own story. I also wanted to punch some of the people that hurt her in the past, especially Lee. And I'm so glad that she was the one that did it. Fuck that bastard. Sorry. But Florence was such an interesting character. I loved how she went through so much as a child with the whole seeing ghosts part, but how strong and resilient she was. She stood up for herself and was able to leave her hometown when she realized how bad she felt in it. She was also so brave for not giving up on her dream of being a writer and finding a way to keep sharing her love stories with an audience through the ghostwriting gig. When we meet her, we definitely see that she's going through a lot in the love department, but also in her career. She's going through writer's block and she can finish her last book. But I really loved how meeting and interacting with Ben helped her see love in a different way, not only in a romantic love, not only about the romantic love, but also the family love. Especially when Ben was a ghost that was haunting her. It was so special to see, and it's so special and interesting to see Ben pushing her to be herself and to believe in love once again. Their relationship was so beautiful, and I fell in love with them and the way they got to know each other. They were a perfect match. I also really loved Florence's family. Every single one of them were so iconic and a bit chaotic, and I love the interactions together. I know her family was a bit of 6 Feet Under or Adam's family, if you want to put it like that, due to all the death related stuff and burning a funeral home. But what was so special through it all was the love and lightness they had around them due to her parents' actions through the years when they were growing up. One of the most emotional moments to me was when Florence realizes that, sure, she had a different childhood surrounded by death, but she respected it, and all of it was filled with love. When I read that part of the book, I generally cried because it's magical for someone to realize that. Another part of the book that I felt was super important was the reconciliation between Florence and her family and even her hometown. She felt guilty for not coming back, especially when her father died, because she didn't want to come home more often. But it's super important for her to know that nobody actually faulted her. Maybe Alice did a little, but I think she understood it was a different part of the relationship. And I think it's important. It was very important for Florence to deal with all of that while also mourning her father. I think it got the family closer together, and so it's fitting that he's the one that sets her free of any responsibility by the end of it. For the record, this has clearly become one of those books that I will tell everyone to read, but to prepare themselves to cry. As always, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Rita's Book Club for more content. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Happy readings!